So I wanted to put this video out there today to see if I can help people in the darts mindset side of things, and also a little bit about my own personal journey and how that's gone, and how I've got to get a bit of a reset point really. So if you've ever struggled or at a bit of a difficult point in your darts journey yourself, this video is going to be a good one for you to watch. So stay tuned. What this video really encompasses for me is, over the years I've been playing, and obviously all of the 10,000 hours experiment, there's been ups, downs, lots of things happening, and I've seen a lot of things where people have tried to push through, and sometimes there's times when you can push through, and sometimes there's really not. When you have big events in life and stuff go on, there's really sometimes a better solution in darts, what you can actually do and how to cope with it. But it's really highlighted to me over the last few years with not just coaching people in darts and also my own stuff, but watching professionals, watching other TV pros and things like that struggling. I mean, even MVG at the moment, obviously he's going for a breakup and things like that, and not to delve into it, but that is naturally going to affect his darts if it hasn't already. There's a lot of other instances where people are under pressure and things like that. If you have something off the oche in your brain when you're going to play darts, it naturally frustrated you. And I know myself, generally I don't really get frustrated very often in darts when I'm playing, even if I'm playing not great. But I know that when there's been instances where I haven't been able to throw my best and there's been things going on away from the oche, it's been really difficult. And I think sometimes it's about acknowledging that. I found myself before getting actually frustrated and sort of a little bit inner anger coming out in my own mind. Not more recently, more in the past, over the last couple of years, at points where it's not been going my way and things hasn't been going right, and it kind of compounds. And what's easy to slip into is a habit where you're playing, you're not practicing enough, you're too busy, and then you're getting more frustrated the way you're playing. And what I've really learned over that period of the last sort of 6 months or so, where I haven't been able to play. I mean, for people who don't know, I've had multiple operations of different unrelated things, but I've also broke my wrist. There's a lot of things that have gone on over the last sort of 6 months in my life, and obviously I'm also working in a business at the moment where I'm quite a key person there, and I do a lot of hours, and it's really not possible to combine the two with that and Mac Darts on the side. So there's some big changes coming for me towards the end of the year, and I'm having my own little reboot, really. So for me, I'm not actually practicing really much at the moment. The 10,000 hours is almost a bit of a pause, but it was ticking over, and I was playing once a week, but I just wasn't really enjoying what I was doing. So for me, having that reset, stopping, and then I'm going to restart when work calms down a little bit, and obviously I'm going to reassess stuff in September, sort of onwards time, sort of start of October. I'm really going to go full bore, and then, to be honest, it's probably going to be the best part of the 10,000 hours experiment over the next year or so. But the last few years have really highlighted to me how you can't just do a normal job or a really extreme job and be fine trying to make it as a professional and stuff like that. You have to be able to make that jump, and to make that jump in standard, you have to be able to allocate time to practicing and actually getting to a certain level. And for me, I've proved that basically over the last sort of year or so, we've not really putting much practice in. I've managed to just stay stable around a 65-70 average with sort of minimal practice. So for me, that's the baseline. But what it doesn't do, it doesn't allow you to jump up massively. My high over that period's probably been about 80 average, probably 33% checkout rate, which for me that's nowhere near my best. So I know that I've proved now. I didn't want to prove that, to be honest. I wanted to prove that you could kind of get by and manage to grind out little hours here and there. But for me, and I've watched other people and coached other people doing this, you have to have a couple of things right. You have to have a period where you practice a good amount, and it doesn't have to be practice necessarily just away from the board. Sometimes it can be practice matches and playing people a lot. But it's that period of under adrenaline and heavy pressure, playing lots of games, beating people, overcoming things, getting beaten yourself, and playing a lot back to back. That's what really gets someone to that next little level. And with that in mind, you also have to be doing a little bit of time on the board. So you have to be hitting a good sort of 5 to 10 hours a week, whether it's playing all day at a tournament and then playing another day at Super League, whatever it may be. You have to have that period in order to get them next levels to jump up, because the neurons and the complicated side of it in the brain, they wire the circuits so they're almost like really fresh in your mind, and that's what allows the little bits of adjustment in there, really. So for me, I knew that kind of anyway, but to prove it, to show that really, no matter how much you try, no matter how much mental capability you have, and knowing all the technical side of the game as well, it doesn't matter. You can't just get better by, you know, randomly turning up once a week, playing and expecting your level to jump up. There might be weeks where you hit the odd thing and find something a little bit in your technique. That does happen. You know, I'm still hitting, going along on a weekday and hitting multiple 180s in a match. You know, being on a 9 dart, but that doesn't carry on the whole time. You'll start missing doubles. You start doing this. You start doing that, and that's, I think, the really key thing. So, what I suppose my advice over this is, understand that, be easy on yourself. Over the last 6 months, I've really felt how it feels to be an average, decent, sort of, I suppose, Super League level player, really, or, you know, MDB in other countries. You know, you've got an element of, you're not going to just improve naturally. You have to put the time and work in. And if you're going and doing it for fun and trying to enjoy what you do, don't beat yourself up. Just understand that you're not going to jump up in standard every time. If you're not able to put them extra little hours in here and there, either find them or accept just doing it for fun. Accept what comes. You can be aggressive when you're playing with your mindset and move forward, but you have to enjoy it. You can't just think that it's going to happen, because it just won't. I promise you, I've proved now to myself and to other people that doing consistent darts over a period of time and without putting extra effort in, which I haven't been able to do for whatever reasons, that does not get your game to the next level. The best I've ever played in the whole, I think, you know, couple of thousand hours now that I've done during the 10,000 hours experiment, the best period I was practicing probably 10 to 15 hours a week, whether that be a mixture of playing 2 nights or 3 nights a week, and then consistently working on the technical aspects of the game. That there's no surprise that that's the best period I've played at, and that's what I've got to get back to if I'm serious about jumping up to the 80, 90, 100 average levels and hitting 40% checkout rates in matches. You can't keep the consistency if you're not up in that amount of playing time. That's, I suppose, the key point of this video. And also, if you're already at a good level and you're on a bit of a decline and it's not going your way, I would say one of two things. Either have a break from the game totally, for whether it's a month, 2 months, 3 months, whatever, and enjoy what you're doing and then go reassess, which people have done, and then come back and been better. Or work out a serious plan where you're going to overwork and over practice to actually get some consistency, so you have some confidence. At least you're going to the board knowing that you've put the work in. You're not going to get there and be unsure about how your technique is, or leaving it to chance, because that's where a lot of it comes from, you know, that not having confidence on doubles and stuff like that. So for me, they're the key points of what I wanted to raise in this video, and also tell people, look, I'm not gone anywhere. I'm back at it. I've had some big hiccups along the way, especially over the last couple of years, but more so the last 6 months. And I did get to a point where I debated whether I would have to, you know, change hands permanently into my left hand, but I don't. I will get by with the right-handed wrist that was broken, but even still, it's still taking a bit of work. I'm trying to get fit now and swim and stuff like that, and do a lot more with it. But for me, it's about getting back to where I need to get to, giving myself a little bit of a break in terms of what I'm doing to try and get that accomplished. And then I'm going to be full steam ahead come October. There'll be lots more content, lots more videos, help you guys out, because I also get a lot of messages and stuff like that, and obviously people have always been rooting for me. I really appreciate that from the darts community. So for me, I always want to give back and give, you know, next year hopefully be full-time coaching and doing other stuff as well, and not be under it so much with, you know, commitments I have had. So for me, yeah, I want to help you guys more, and obviously put more, you know, free stuff out there, and help people yeah, really just hone their own games and get to that next stage in what they want to do. So hope you guys are good, and I've not gone anywhere, but the reboot 2.0 is coming just around the corner in October. So I'm going to be doing Q School next year seriously. I'm going to be doing Challenge Tour seriously next year. And yeah, I suppose an aim for me is maybe to try and qualify for Modus, something like that next year. And in worst case, even if I don't, just get to that sort of standard where I'm regularly hitting 80s to 90s plus. And I know a lot of people have been waiting a while for me to do that, and sort of show them results in tournaments and stuff like that. So for me, that's what I want to do next year. But yeah, it's the start of it. I've got to get through a difficult summer where I'm working sort of 100-hour plus weeks, week in, week out for the next sort of 8 to 12 weeks. So yeah, got to get it done, and onwards and upwards, and yeah, stay strong, guys, and I'll catch you all soon.